Merry Christmas and welcome to Kingdom of the Logos, a Christian program of critical thinking and adventure produced by clergy in the Church of the Nazarene. Today, here we're going to have a bit of a casual episode. Instead of us looking deep into the book of Revelation, we're going to be talking about the top 25 Christmas movies. And we're going to be playing a little game called Buy, Sell, or Hold to determine whether this list is actually if it's worthwhile or if all these movies are garbage. Now, we haven't seen this list in advance. We're just going to be taking this as hot takes, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Anyways, I'm Pastor J. Dylan Proctor, and there are a few others with me here in the studio.
I'm Pastor Amanda Sparrow.
Pastor Anthony Allegria.
And I'm Pastor Mike Proctor.
And just for full disclaimer, we have not seen this list, and it's not one that we produced. It is one that is made by Esquire, I believe. For those who still have knowledge of such things in the modern day and age of internet, we are going to be looking at this list, and we'll give Esquire the credit for doing it. We're going to be looking at the numbers 25 all the way down. And at the end of this, we're going to have our recommendation of a must-see Christmas movie from the perspective of a pastor. So if you're a pastor on the pulpit and you want people to watch a Christmas movie, somebody says, "Pastor, what do you watch?" When we're gathered together as a family, we're all going to give our recommendation on that. And these movies may be on the list, they may not be, but we're going to give our final recommendation there at the end. But a quick set of rules on how this game works, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. Send them to us. If you disagree with us, if you agree, let us know. So if you say you buy, that means you agree that the movie should be on the list and you agree where it's at. If you sell it, that means you don't agree with where it's at, or maybe it's too high, it's too low. Like you may say that there's no movie better than this, so forth and so on. I think everybody will catch it as we go along. You can only hold once a game, though. So everybody here, you only get one hold. So let's jump into it. Anthony, what's number 25?
Die Hard.
Ooh, Die Hard.
You almost have to argue even is it a Christmas movie to start with.
Okay, so...
Does it belong on the list?
Yeah, all right. So here's my logic on this. I'm going to sell. Because if you are willing to permit Die Hard as a Christmas movie, it is going to be higher than 25. And if you're not willing to permit it as a Christmas movie, you're not going to have it on there at all, so it shouldn't be 25 at all. So I'm going to sell for that reason. It should either be much higher or not on the list at all. So,
yeah, I think I'm going to sell it too, kind of for similar reasons, but mostly because if you want to enjoy it, watch it during Christmas time, you can, but I think you can watch it all year round. It's a great action flick. I just not quite sure it's, like when you think Christmas movie, it's not Christmassy enough, I guess.
Yeah. Well, see, I kind of think it is a Christmas movie, but I would put it higher than that, so that's why I'm selling. Pastor Mike?
Now, these are the top 25 movies we would recommend, or they're
No, they're just Christmas movies. We'll get to our recommendation at the end.
Mike's like, I do not endorse this.
Yeah. No, I'm going to sell.
You're going to sell? Anthony?
I mean, I haven't watched it. I have not watched almost any of these movies. I'm the worst person you could possibly ask any of these questions. Whenever it comes to like Christmas pop culture, any seasonal pop culture, I'm so far removed.
Okay, first of all, again, Die Hard, not seasonal. It's an action film. It probably came out in like the summer of whatever year it came out of, because it's an action film. It's a blockbuster action film. How can you not watch Die Hard? What? You're failing him, Dylan.
Yeah, and you know what? This isn't the only thing he hasn't watched. We may have to do a top 25 things Anthony hasn't watched. Anthony, would you share some other things you haven't watched just to make everybody cringe at home?
You may have to.
I don't plan on doing that. No.
Have we seen the original Star Wars trilogy?
I don't plan on answering that question either.
Yeah, everybody cringe at home.
Top 25. It's more like the top 50.
Yeah. All right, so what's number 24? Let's go on.
All right, number 24 is While You Were Sleeping. Another one I have no idea about.
I'm going to say.
Is it the one with Sandra Bullock?
Based on this picture, I'm just going to say yes.
That's not a Christmas movie either. It's a rom-com.
Yeah.
So I'm going to sell it.
Yeah, hard sell. Never heard of it.
It's
I'll sell that too. Yeah.
Anthony, are you selling it?
Yeah. Again, I still have no idea.
Right.
I'm just floating here. You want to hear the next one?
Yes,
Sure.
please.
All right. So the next one is titled "Kiss Kiss Bang Bang."
Yep, the sell.
So
I don't need to know anything about it.
I mean, the title alone has got.
I say we just
Yep.
move
on rolling.
along.
Yeah.
Are we going to get to some
All right.
Christmas
Gremlins, 22.
Okay, Gremlins. This is in the same category with Die Hard.
Yeah.
And permitting that you would think it's a Christmas movie, and you can easily argue that it is. I will say, yeah, I'll buy that at 22. I think there are 22 better Christmas films than. Yeah, I'll buy that. I'll buy Gremlins at 22.
Yeah, I think I can like see Gremlins being more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard. I don't know if it's a better movie than Die Hard, so that's what I'm trying to think how I would put it in this list. So I think I'll just I'll keep it where it is. Bye.
Pastor Mike,
I'm gonna have to sell on that one too.
do you have a reason for selling on that?
Well, it's that's one of those strange categories where you find it listed in I don't know, soft Torah, and then you find it in
Soft Torah.
I don't know what you call it, and then you see it listed as comedy.
Yeah, that's
and
I'll give
I
you
don't know
this.
where it's at. Some people are scared of it. Some people laugh at it, but it doesn't fit in Christmas either, even though it has Christmas settings.
I'll give you this. Gremlins fits in a weird place because my grandmother will sit there and watch that movie and laugh her head off. They're like chopping up a little monster and they like blender, and she's laughing at it, and yet you put on something like The Conjuring and it scares you to death. And I can't tell like why is
Where's
one of
the line?
Where's the line between being horrifying and hilarious? Because I don't see it myself.
I think it's little 80s puppets. Like I think that's the
Yeah,
line.
like I don't know, but
This
He
one
thinks they're
I am
cute,
familiar
though.
with, and so just because I will probably only get to knowledgeably buy once or twice in this episode, I'm gonna go ahead and buy it.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's
It
go.
is.
on to the
I
next
actually
one.
loved this movie as
The
a kid.
Gremlins, yeah.
It's pretty hilarious. All right, so number 21, The Shop Around the Corner.
I don't know
Sell.
that one.
Never heard of it.
Sell.
Never heard of it,
So
so I'm gonna have to.
Are these like Netflix specials or Hallmark movies?
I
Like
don't-
no Hallmark movie should be on this list.
yes,
No.
agreed. No homework.
This movie is it's got Jimmy Stewart.
Oh well, then
Margaret
for that,
Sullivan.
if it's got Jimmy Stewart in it, I'll
That does
I'll,
make me
I'll
tempted
go to a
buy.
hold.
Here.
I won't buy or sell, but I'll go on a hold on.
You're
that.
gonna
You use your
well,
one
Let
hold?
me
I'm
read
gonna
the
use my one
description
hold
here.
just because of Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart and Margaret Sullivan are employees at a Budapest leather goods shop who can't stand each other, even as they're falling in love as anonymous pen pals in this memorable romantic comedy
You know what?
set.
Wait, so
During
is this
the
You've Got
holidays.
Mail? Like the original version?
I think I have seen this movie, but the fact that I'm not immediately sure that I've seen this movie, it doesn't deserve to be on a top 25.
Yeah.
So sell.
No.
So that's a general rule. If it's I don't know what it is,
Just
or don't
sell.
immediately know what it is, sell. But I think I have seen that movie.
All right. What's the next,
Next
one?
one, 20, A Christmas Tale.
Sell. Not heard of.
I even tried looking on IMDb, and the description I found on IMDb is not the same, I think, of whatever Esquire gave. So I don't know what movie this is.
I'll
It
sell
sounds
on
like
that
a
too.
Hallmark one.
All right. Number 19, Black Christmas.
Is that the horror movie?
I guess so. I don't know.
Because they're remaking it. It's coming out soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell as well. Like why isn't this list filled with like Frosty the Snowman and stuff like
Yeah.
that? Like all the Rankin
Some
Bass.
classics.
Yeah.
Maybe they're at the top. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna,
But there's like
I'm gonna-
20 of them.
No, I'm gonna sell because I think
I'm gonna sell on
there
that
is
one as well.
19 better than this.
Yeah, so-
There's
Yeah.
20 better than this. So yeah.
And number 18, Eyes Wide Shut. Sell.
So,
So never heard of that one.
sell.
All right.
yeah, just keep on rolling.
Yeah, this is a bad list. We're not even being able to give good commentary on these.
Well, as far as the last one goes, it's definitely a movie we shouldn't talk too much about. Number 17, The Best Man Holiday. Don't know anything about that.
Yeah,
Again,
sell.
Hallmark
Never heard
movie. Sell it. Even if it's not a Hallmark
I don't
movie,
know.
it sounds
It
like
does
one.
sound like a Hallmark movie.
This one would definitely not be your typical Hallmark movie.
Oh, okay. Well, then
I don't have another hold, so I'll have to.
sell it.
Sell
I'll
it.
have to sell
Sell
because
it.
I haven't watched it. But
Yeah.
that
Number
doesn't mean it.
16, Meet Me in St. Louis. St. Louis?
St.
Whatever.
Louis.
Do you not know what that one is?
I do know what that one is, and I'm selling because there are definitely
Yeah,
15
I
better
can't
than
imagine
this.
we haven't hit a Frosty or a
Wait a
Rudolph. or
second.
something.
If there's 15 better, is it not appropriate?
There are 16 better.
16?
There's 16 better,
Better.
easily.
Okay.
There are 20
All right.
better.
There are
easily.
20 better.
I'll
Yeah.
go with that, so I'm gonna-
Again, it's a good movie. I just don't think it's a top 15
Yeah,
or top
not.
16 Christmas movie. So yeah.
Totally not.
All right. And the next one is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer at 15.
Yes, here we go. All right. Yeah, I'll buy that at 15. It is iconic.
Yeah.
It's not the worst. It's not the best Rankin Bass special. A lot of people think it is. And I really like a lot of the old claymation stuff. I like that stop motion style. I really like that.
I hate it.
Yeah, Anthony hates it. I like it. I like generally movies made in
It's
that.
disgusting.
But Rudolph, yeah, he deserves 15.
Yeah.
What do y'all say?
I think so. I growing up, I enjoyed the second Rudolph more than the first one, but I don't think many people really liked it or enjoyed it. So I can see why this Rudolph is number 15. So I'll buy.
Whenever I think Rudolph, I think of trains with square wheels.
Yeah.
The whole island of the Misfit toys and all that. And people love Rudolph, but there really are. The rest of this list better just be Rankin Bass Christmas specials, or at least that in part. There's a few others that need to be there. Pastor Mike, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm going to buy.
You'll buy?
Yeah, I'll buy that.
All right, what's number 15?
Thank you for caring about my buy.
All right,
Oh,
so
I'm
you
sorry.
buy it?
You buy it?
Sure, yeah. I mean, honestly,
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
I
I
don't
can't-
think anybody can get through elementary school without watching that one.
That's true.
But
True.
yeah, I mean, it's all right. So number 14, A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh, Cell. Should be higher.
Yeah, that one should be in the top 10. If I don't know if I can say top 5, but it should be pretty close.
I would put top 3, actually. Like, what's wrong with the people who made this list? Seriously, when they come in and they sing Hark the Herald Angels Sing in that,
The Linus telling the Christmas story
is phenomenal.
probably one of the most iconic Christmas moments.
Yeah.
And the dancing's not bad there either. I'm gonna sell for the same reason as Pastor Amanda and Pastor Dylan.
I have only seen clips of it, but I'm going to go ahead and sell just because the clips I did see were pretty good. But in any case, so
The whole motif with this is that it's not about what is the real meaning of Christmas. And when you see the Peanuts gang step into the role of the Nativity and you see them act that out, that deserves to be top 3. Like, come on. Especially when it comes to things for Christmas, that's a top 3 movie. And I would easily hear somebody make a case for it being 1. I wouldn't say no to that if they said it was number 1. It's phenomenal.
Not quite, but yeah.
all right, now I'll sell on that point. But
I didn't say I was
anyways,
saying it was 1 myself, but if someone came to me with that, I would say, okay, that is a reasonable conclusion to make about
Right.
movies that you have seen.
So our next one, number 13 on this list, Elf. You know, Elf.
Yeah, we know Elf.
Will
I'm
Ferrell,
just
all
trying
that
to
stuff.
think. It's a funny movie. I think it's one of probably it's a good solid Christmas movie. Like, it puts you in the Christmas spirit. It makes you happy. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's a good family movie. It really doesn't have anything to do with the Christmas story as far as biblical, but it is a fun movie to watch. So yeah, I think I'd buy it where it is.
And it's it's like the only good Will Ferrell movie.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I hate to say that.
Another one does not come to mind.
Yeah. It's actually unfortunate. I'm selling on this one on principle. I actually think it should be higher, but I'm not selling on it for that reason. I'm selling on it because it's not better than A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh, that is
It is
true.
not better than that, so I have to sell on
Well,
it.
if we that's a double sell. That's a sell for the same sell. We can't be.
I'm
selling
probably
on
going to
a
have to
sell.
sell the next few until I get off of the Charlie Brown thing, because that should be higher. Though this movie deserves to be higher, but it doesn't deserve to be higher than Charlie Brown. So
The Reckoning.
yeah, the reckoning is coming. Pastor Mike, what are your thoughts on it?
I'm going to sell because I don't believe it belongs that high. Although I know people that would place it as number 1 on their list, but
Yeah, it's not a number one.
Not
but-
me. No.
Yeah.
So
It's
I-
definitely not number 1. I think I'd buy it where it's at.
Yeah.
Our next one on the list, number 12, is The Apartment. Anybody familiar with that?
No, we'll just universally sell it, I think.
Sell.
Real quick,
Yep.
Universal sell.
Big
All
sell.
right.
Hard sell.
And our next one is 11, The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Sell. I think of that as a Halloween movie, not as a Christmas movie. I know it's trying to do both,
Both, yeah.
but I really put it more at Halloween.
I'm okay with it being a Christmas movie. I just don't think it shouldn't be in the top 15. So
Sell. It's not better than Rankin Bass stop motion films.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Which is it? How's the animation actually made? You know, it's
I
been a
think
long
it was
time.
claymation.
Is
I
it?
think it's stop motion.
Okay, I just say it may. It's kind of in that era
Well,
where they start to do CGI.
It might be a
Some-
little bit of both, but I know some of it is stop motion.
I always thought that movie was awful. Anyways, number 10,
Well, Pastor
A
Mike,
Christmas Carol.
what were your thoughts on that?
Oh, go ahead, Mike, yeah?
I just sell. It didn't do much for me.
You get the two-faced mayor that's kind of interesting, who looks like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
A really bad Christmas tree.
And that movie is disgusting.
Yeah, it is. It is. Sell.
All right, what was number 10?
A Christmas Carol,
Which Christmas Carol?
Yeah,
1951.
1951. And what number is this?
10.
Number 10.
I'll buy. Not better than a Charlie Brown Christmas, so I'm tempted to sell.
Well, yeah, but if it's where it needs to be, Charlie Brown isn't where it needs to be.
That's
Yeah.
true.
So you
I
gotta-
will be graceful to it and buy for that.
But I really think
You misunderstand, Amanda. The Reckoning is still
is coming. I think A Christmas Carol should be in the top 10, but that's not my favorite version, and I don't know if my favorite version will be any higher on this list. So I'll buy it for where it is.
I'll sell because I don't think it's high enough. That's
Okay.
Yeah, I think it
that's
should
fair.
belongs much higher.
All right. Our next one is our 9th, which is the two words are confused. The Muppet Christmas Carol.
No.
No. That is also a Halloween movie. It's the scariest thing that's ever been made, ever. Especially for like a little kid. When you're like a toddler and you put that on, those ghosts, the old men from the Muppets on there. No, they need to go back to the land of the dead, where they obviously come from, and even proclaim to come from. They're ghosts. No, that movie is scary and not
Wait, the
top
Muppets
10.
say that they're ghosts?
Well, in this movie.
In their Christmas Carol version.
Okay.
Here's the thing. 1, it's not the best version of A Christmas Carol. 2, it's not the best Muppet movie because you've got the original and Muppet Treasure Island, which is just fantastic. So, yeah, this one's too high. I might put this in the top 25, but definitely not the top 10. So.
I liked the Muppets as a kid, and when that VHS would go in the player as a kid,
It scares you?
It's scary. Like, you're not sleeping for a week when that goes in. A Christmas Carol, the Muppet version, and any of you out there who are my age, which I'm born right around 1990, you will know that is a scary nightmare film. Those childhoods were ruined over that. Seeing those ghosts scary.
Well, I'm sorry, but Kermit, I'm going to have to sell. I don't believe he
I
belongs
agree
that
with
high.
Mike. Hard sell. Number 8, Bad Santa.
No. Sell. Not. It should not be in the top. Well, it shouldn't even.
Yeah, it
no.
shouldn't be on this list. Sell.
No.
I will say, I wish I looked more at this picture before I decided to put that up. Not too bad, but gross. Anyways, number 7. This one I know is pretty popular, though I don't think I've seen it. Miracle on 34th Street.
What number is this?
Number 7.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
And what you know, they've had more than one of those. Is that the original? Or
Yeah, they remade it in, 94? Something like that?
I didn't even know
No,
they had a remake.
Yeah, there's a remake of it that's...
Why? Just leave them alone.
Yeah, do leave them alone.
Let
What-
classics be classics.
What year did this come out?
No idea.
It's not on there.
It's not on there. Yeah, let classics be classics. Yeah, I definitely think this deserves
So I'm going to
it.
buy it. I'm going to
Buy
buy it
it?
because it looked like it was the classic.
Yeah, it looked like
I wish that I had seen
Let me
it.
ask you all this.
Because that one looks pretty
47.
47, yeah, that sounds about right. If you had to line up some things, like, would this be better than the, sir, I want to buy these shoes?
The Christmas shoes. Yes, Miracle on 34th Street is definitely better than Christmas shoes. Ugh.
Yes, infinitely.
All
All
right,
right, so
our
Yeah,
Number
we'll buy that.
6.
next one, number 6, coming up on the big 5,
the big 5.
Scrooged.
Is that the one with Bill Murray?
Yep.
Or-
Oh, no.
No, again,
No,
these are
so-
not even okay. If you're gonna say the best Christmas Carol movie, if you're gonna do 3 Christmas Carol movies, obviously the black and white one should just go before any of these. Like, and really, because Scrooge and Muppets takes a much more comedic approach, and so I just don't understand who made this list and why they thought that was a good idea.
Yeah,
So
that movie, Sell. And that's not even one of Bill Murray's better things.
Yeah.
I actually would put that as one of his worst. That may be an unpopular
Well, how much
opinion.
Christmas stuff does he have? Because this is
Well,
definitely
this might be his
not
only
the
Christmas
Bill Murray
movie, but he's
list.
not really. Yeah, I don't like it. All
Yeah,
right,
I don't
Sal.
like Scrooged. No, so.
All right, what about you, Mike?
I'm going to sell.
So.
All right, number
our
5.
5th one is maybe agreeable. I don't know. Home Alone.
Yeah, I'll buy that. Really fun to watch that as a kid.
I
I don't-
never got it.
I don't know how that movie wasn't scary, just based on the premise of it. Like this kid being chased by the burglars.
Home invaders.
Yeah, home
He
invaders.
put him down. He put him down.
It has a element of slapstick comedy, even
Yeah.
though it's not quite the Three Stooges.
But it is
And you know it is that Thanksgiving Day movie to watch, so it's not quite even in the Advent season when you watch it, or at least I feel like that. I've watched it a lot, but I do believe it belongs on the list, and I'm just going to buy it.
Mike, we find ourselves in the same boat a lot this episode. Yeah, I'm going to buy it too.
Yeah, I'll buy it, but I think Donald Trump actually is in one of the Home Alone movies.
He's the
in
second
one.
one when he's in New York.
Yeah, he's in the hotel,
Yeah,
isn't he?
that's the second one.
Okay, yeah.
This was the first one.
It was the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And I mean, I don't know how many they are, but I mean, I think it's...
There's two. They did make a third one with a different actor, and
yeah.
I think they even made a fourth and fifth one that were like TV specials.
Yes.
So I don't know
what happened. But the first two, yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
I'd actually allow the list to couple those two together, 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Yeah, they're both pretty solid. All right.
And number 4, White Christmas. Haven't seen it.
It's a classic, so I get why they would put it on top 5, but I wouldn't, or top 4, because again, like you've got things like Frosty and what is it, The Year Without Santa Claus. So yeah, I don't think it's top 4.
Yeah, I would sell. It's like a top 15,
Yeah.
like number 15, 16. I'd let it be there.
What say you, Mike?
I'm going to buy because... what was the name of it again?
White Christmas.
White Christmas, yeah. I mean, Bing Crosby, that... to watch him whistle, maybe I'm older. I can remember my grandfather wanting to watch that. So, yeah, I'm going to buy that.
When Derek, my brother, the first house he lived in, we found a bunch of Bing Crosby records in there and stuff.
Extremely talented man.
Yeah, he was. And the Bing Crosby records were actually not bad. But there was a Christmas one in there, too, that we listened to.
Oh, yeah.
I can't tell you any of the songs that were on there, but we had it. So, yeah, I'll let that be on the list. I think I'll sell, though. I still think it's too high.
All right, number 3, A Christmas Story.
Oh, that is a good one. I do think it's too high. Like, they had such trashy ones in their, like, 15 to 10 range that I think a lot of these that they're putting in their top 10 should have been lower. And just completely removed some of these other ones.
Your logic, but I'm still buying this at number 3 because it's hilarious. Some people say this movie's overrated. I think it actually deserves the rating it gets. It captures what it's like being a kid looking at stuff. The scene where he's up there and he's like, oh, what do I want? He's there next to Santa. And, of course, he wants the BB gun. But he forgets what he wants when he's there in Santa's lap. And he just says, a football. And then his brain, which is the monologue, is like, no, you idiot, you're messing up. He turns around and yells out what he wants to Santa. And he just says, you'll shoot your eye out, kid, and kicks him
down the slide.
Great movie. Yeah.
I'm going to buy it, too. I like it. I think, the flagpole, all of those things, are just crazy. But I find it hilarious. And, there's some things in there that, it just shows our brokenness and how we really are. But at the same time, it shows how, in the midst of all that, we can overcome a lot of things, including bullies. I don't know. I just think it's a great movie.
Yeah, it's good.
Number 2, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Wait. There are movies that need to be on this list.
That's what I'm saying. Like, again, you're missing such great Christmas movies. We've had
a lot of the Rankin Bass specials need to be on here.
And so they just replaced it with such trashy movies. Yeah. I don't know. Sell. Definite sell. Like, burn the list sell.
Yes, burn the list sell. And I don't like Chevy Chase or Chevy. How do you pronounce his? I've never known how to pronounce his name.
No, I don't know either.
I don't know, but it doesn't belong on the list. I'm selling that one.
I actually would like this movie if it had a different lead.
Nah.
I don't know about that, but I just to me, I think it's a type of comedy that I just don't care for that. I don't think it belongs on the top, in the Christmas list for sure.
Yeah, I'll agree. All right, do we want to take predictions for what number 1 is before we get there?
Well, I can't.
He's already
Mike's already cheating over there.
Yeah, I'm looking at Anthony.
Yeah,
so
I kind of glanced. I can see the computer screen.
Oh, I'm the only one who can. It better be It's a Wonderful Life or Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey. It better be one of those two.
You really think it's going to be Nestor, though? The
no,
people who made this list?
Being a realistic human being, I don't think most people have heard of that movie, though it deserves to be there, and I'll stand firm with that. But, Anthony, what is it?
It's a Wonderful Life.
I'll buy that.
you're not going to believe this, but Amanda O'Donnell was the first one to get me to watch that, and I agree. I'm going to buy it, even though I would probably recommend one higher than that. But I'm going to buy it because it's that good a movie.
I don't know that I would buy it absolute, but I'll buy it because it's a pretty good deal.
The thing that really bothers me about this list is I was wanting us to have good commentary about a lot of the movies and theology and stuff in them. That most of these movies have been trash. But It's a Wonderful Life is phenomenally a Christian movie. Even if they took out the angel that's in it, the whole premise of the movie is basically what you find in Genesis 2:24 and then again in Genesis 12:1. This idea that the great adventure of life really is family. Like George Bailey, he wants to go on all these adventures. He wants to go on trains, planes, go all around the world, go on all these different boats and stuff. But he finds out in the end, he can never really walk away from that town. He never can go off to war. He can never really go off to study like he wants to. He can't go on all this exploration because his obligation to his family and his neighborhood is really greater than all that. And he finds out that that's ultimately what matters. Of course, Genesis 2:24 reads, "Therefore a man leaves his father and his mother and clings to his wife, and therefore they become one flesh. And the man and his wife, they were both naked and they were not ashamed." In that you find they are before sin. So, they're together. They're not ashamed. The sin nature and things have not crept in yet. And I put that in there because this is the oldest institution that God has for humanity. And George Bailey really does discover this in that movie. And there's a lovely moment where it hits home to him. He figures it out. And again, God's been calling people to this adventure all along. Genesis 12:1 comes to Abraham and it says, "And now the Lord said to Abram, go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. I will make you a great nation and I will bless you." So that is what we find happening there. God has always been telling people this. Especially here at the time of Christmas, people look at Jesus and they say, oh, he went to a lowly place. God became small. A manger is not a palace, but I think God looks at it and is like, all of you people who think that baby Jesus being with Mary and Joseph is lowly are all idiots, because this is what I've been telling you all along. He's like, even before there was sin, I was telling you, you get together and make a family, and you'll find this is the greatest adventure in life. This is what I called Abraham and Sarah to, or Abram and Sarai. This is what they were called to. He's like, this is what it's all about. I spoke the creation into existence. I don't need a palace with some gold in it. I'm here to go to this ancient institution, which I've been telling you all along is great. Anyways, what are y'all's thoughts on It's a Wonderful Life?
Yeah, I think it's not my favorite Christmas movie, but it is definitely, I can see why it's number one, so I'll buy.
Not my favorite either, but I will buy it. Like, as I said earlier, it's just a great movie, a great, giving up things, the things you do have an impact on the world around you, and maybe you don't see that. And that gives us a little vision into, that. Well, what could it be if we time traveled a little?
Yeah. Now we brought time travel into it. That was a weird twist we had there. We'll let Anthony think, and then we'll come back to the time travel. Anthony, what do you think?
I mean, I was just going to say, probably too much personal information. This movie is pretty good, and I think I actually did cry at least once watching it the first time. It's pretty good. And there's not only wrapped in this idea of like the importance of family and how it is it's very much the ultimate adventure for humanity, but also in that the purpose of his family was to be a blessing to his neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
they are. Like, he actually lives that out and is really living the human purpose, and he's tempted by other things in life, and by the end of it he realizes, no, actually this is significantly more fulfilling. And so anyways, that just sort of builds off of what Pastor Dylan said.
Yeah, so going back to time travel, so if you haven't seen the Doctor Who Christmas special with Matt Smith, and I think is it just called A Christmas Carol, the one that's done in the style of that?
I think so.
I don't know, but the
Or
TARDIS,
does it have a weird noise?
which is a time machine. If anyone's not familiar with it, the show is built around the premise of a time machine. And the time machine goes back in time and basically shows a Scrooge-like character of the past, present, and future, and stuff like that. It goes to really the same thing that Charles Dickens is doing. But again, from the perspective that we're really coming at as pastors, you look at the elements of It's a Wonderful Life showing you how your actions do have a big impact on the world around you. Scrooge also has that moment where there's really a repentance, there's a metanoia, where he understands that things actually do. You know, I was reading earlier from Genesis 12, just going a little bit to the next few verses, it says, I will make you a great nation and will bless you and make your name great so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who you bless, and the ones who you curse, I will curse. And in you, all families of the earth shall be blessed. This idea that if you curse people, they're really cursed. If you bless people, they're really blessed. And Scrooge kind of figures that out. Would y'all not say that's like a big theme of the whole Christmas Carol? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, no, that,
Not crazy here for making a connection
that's
there.
That's the whole point. And I know, just kind of because you're bringing up this movie already, if I were to have like the Christmas movie I would recommend for people to watch, it would be A Christmas Carol, but it wouldn't be all the funky, quirky, silly ones that have been on this list. It would be the one, my favorite one is the one we watch as a family every Christmas Eve, which is George C. Scott stars in it. It was made in the 80s. I think PBS actually published it. So it didn't come out in theaters. It came out really as an educational tool for teachers to use to help their students understand this great literary classic. And so it's probably one of the best book-to-movie adaptations that's out there, period. But especially the best one for as far as doing Charles Dickens' work, Christmas Carol. But that is a main theme, and actually like one of the best quotes that I know my dad and my mom both as ministers have used as like sermon illustrations is at the very, or towards the beginning, where Marley visits Scrooge and warns him of the ghosts who are yet to come, and so tells him like what he did, and Scrooge is trying to kind of like brush him off and say, well, you were a good man of business, and Marley responds with, mankind was my business, the common welfare was my business, charity, mercy, forbearance, benevolence were all my business, the dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business. And only Charles Dickens can write this like beautiful picture, and of course, and then like I said, my favorite version is the one with George C. Scott in it that portrays the weight of the story. And that's why, listen, I think the Muppets are cool and they're funny and we can do comedies and that's fun for Christmas, but this kind of movie and this kind of story has such weight to it that it can only be portrayed, I think, by serious actors who really want to explore this idea of, like you're saying with Abraham, and really the call throughout the story of the people of God.
Yeah.
God has blessed you, now you have responsibility. There's weight to that. And you have responsibility not to hoard that blessing to yourself, like Scrooge did in the beginning, but to share it with others. So I think it is a beautiful story and a magnificent one. And that's why sometimes, like, all these new versions, it's like, also, how the Grinch Stole Christmas not on this list?
Yeah.
Any version. And the only good version is the original animated one. But anyway, well, I mean,
No, I like the Jim Carrey one.
It's good, but the original one is the best. But they share this kind of same motif. But when we get all silly and those things are nice within their place, we just forget, I think, just the beauty of this. And I think Christmas Carol really is one of the best movies. And if I were to tell someone, like, you want to hear the Christmas message and not necessarily read Luke 2, then watch A Christmas Carol.
Yeah. All right. And that's which version is that? Just for
George C. Scott is the main actor in it.
Okay.
I think PBS published it or produced it.
So that's your pastoral recommendation
Yes.
for Christmas movies. Pastor Mike, what is yours?
The Christmas Candle. I'm not sure. That may be a Hallmark movie. I'm not sure, but nonetheless, that is a good
Be
movie.
careful.
I have to be careful what I say, but
There's
the
nothing
Christmas Candle.
worse.
I think Susan Boyle is in that. Not that she's one of the main actors or anything, and I know she's known for her beautiful voice, but the part of how faith transforms us and how God works in our faith is just powerful in that movie. I really, I think that's one that is a must see.
Yeah, I'll actually give you this one, and it should have been on the top 5 of a reasonable list put together by somebody who can use their brain cells. I know.
Whoa,
it's brutal.
man.
Hey, Anthony's already said that the reckoning was coming. This list is dumb. That's all you can say about it. It is dumb. That's the nicest thing you can say. But this movie, A Christmas Candle, which it has Sylvester McCoy in it as the main character, and he plays the 7th Doctor. I like classic Doctor Who. The 7th Doctor is really good. I actually like the 6th Doctor too. The 7th Doctor is better. but it's a whole movie about, well, it's about Christmas candles, but it is a little bit element of faith, and it has a good moment in there where you have that change of heart and things of that. It has some good elements in there, so I'll definitely let that one stand. And if you haven't seen it, it's not it's way too good to be a Hallmark movie. There's no way that could be a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, and I got a couple more that I'll...
And there's no way that Hallmark could get Susan Boyle, I wouldn't think either.
Probably not. I don't know. But, you know, for the clay animation, I think The Little Drummer Boy and Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey are definitely good movies for children to watch. I've seen some... I know there's a part in Little Drummer Boy that's pretty harsh few times there, especially with the camel.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Nonetheless, we live in a harsh world.
Just to step in there, you say a little harsh. I think a lot of us, has everyone in this room seen the new Joker movie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the Little Drummer Boy is basically, I think it would actually be a better Joker backstory if the Little Drummer Boy doesn't ever meet Jesus. God is completely missing in the Joker movie, if anyone noticed that. It's the only institution, the church is the only institution not represented in there. But the Little Drummer Boy, he is a little wild child who hates all humanity, and they got to paint a smile on him, but yeah.
Well, and, you know, I think also with Nestor, that one is even though it's kind of cute with the clay animation, there's some really strong, you know, scenes there that you have to wrestle through, and I think it's
and
healthy.
this is called Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey.
Yeah, Nestor
and I'll
the
talk more
Long-Eared.
about that in a second.
Yeah.
Anthony, what's your one movie recommendation?
Well, I'm not, as I said earlier, nearly as familiar with all the Christmas movies as maybe one should be, but I'm going to say firstly, I want to say that most Christmas movies are not actually about Christ in any way or about the Christian faith. And so I would just like to say that they really shouldn't be called Christmas movies. And so I'm going to try to focus on more actually Christ-centered Christmas movies. And I think there's a really good argument to be made for how Christ-centered a movie like The Polar Express is. Throughout the movie, there's tons of imagery, Christian imagery, and crosses that appear in the shapes that are made in the scenery. And there's a really good argument to be made that the Santa Claus, the guy who runs the train, was that the engineerman, I guess?
This is the Tom
Conductor?
Hanks character.
They're all Tom Hanks characters.
Oh, are they?
Santa Claus, and that's another part of the argument. Is,
I didn't
so
realize that.
Tom Hanks plays the three characters, which there's a pretty great argument to be made. They represent the God, the triune God, and Tom Hanks plays all three, which is pretty good theologically, actually, because the three are the same substance in three persons. And so there's Santa Claus, the engineerman for the train, and then there's the Holy Spirit, the crazy spirit on top of the train, who's all wily. And so as you're watching this movie, it's basically addressing almost like the scene with doubting Thomas. Do not doubt or do not be unbelieving, but believe. And that is the whole goal of that movie. And it's portrayed very artistically and symbolically in the idea of believing in Santa Claus. And at the end of the movie, he says, yeah, I continued even through my adulthood, that sort of thing. Symbolically, I think the movie's trying to say that Christianity seems like something that's not legitimate to most people. And you think you grow up and all of a sudden you have no reason to believe, but that's not really true. And it's better to believe and sort of like in a poetic way. Then you can hear the bells ring and that sort of thing in life with Christian belief. So I think if you pay attention to the movie with Christian eyes specifically, and you're trying to watch it for symbols of Christ and that sort of thing and what it's saying about God, then I think you can get a lot out of it.
Fascinating. All right, so it's my turn.
Yes.
It's a Wonderful Life does deserve to be number one on that list. But and here's this is going to be a weird one. I think as far as Christmas movies go, Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey, which is a Rankin Bass Christmas special that came out in 1977. It's about 25 minutes. It's about a donkey that every creature on this earth hates except for its mother. It's an ugly donkey, so it's not just ugly because it's a donkey. It's an exceptionally ugly donkey, and it is hated for being ugly. And the only creature on this earth that loves it is its mother. And because of his ugliness, she ends up dying for him so that he can live. because of his ugliness. And talk about a portrayal of not just the birth of Christ, but the full gospel. This donkey, every creature on earth hates him, and his mother died for him because of his ugliness. And he is out there, he has no purpose. He's like, why do I even exist? What's the point? And that's where a lot of people are. But he gets to a place where he meets a little cherub who says, nope, the man upstairs has a plan for you. And as the story goes along, he eventually becomes the donkey that carries Mary to Bethlehem. And he finds meaning there at the nativity. He finds meaning. It is a beautiful story. It is by far the best Rankin Bass special. And I mean, it blows all the others out of the water. I have no idea if when they put this movie together, they knew what they were doing. It's way better than Rudolph. It's better than any of it. And if you are a Christian looking for a family to watch together, it's hard to find actually, but you can find it online to places to watch it free. You can currently watch it on Dailymotion. It's not illegal. It's just nobody really spends a lot of time on this, so you just go to Dailymotion and type it in. You can find it and watch it. Wonderful movie. Comparing that to It's a Wonderful Life, It's a Wonderful Life is a better movie, but Nestor is a better Christmas movie. I don't know if anybody sees what I did there. They saw that. It's kind of like when I talk about video games. I think Breath of the Wild is the best video game ever made, but it's by far not the best Legend of Zelda game. There are many Legend of Zeldas I think are better than Breath of the Wild.
I think Anthony was the part where you cut him off.
Both these statements. I know I'm, as I like to say, bullion or whatever, but
Anthony
both
says
these statements, I'm like,
this is too far down the nerd hole for me. But check out Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey. It portrays the gospel so well. Pastor Mike?
Yeah, and I'd just like to say, we're talking about movies here, and a lot of these are totally fictional. And, of course, there is that movie, I think it's called The Nativity. That's a great movie to watch as well. But, the gospel of Christ coming and taking on humanity in this Advent season is much more than a movie. Not just putting a disclaimer out there, but I think sometimes the movies are beautiful, especially the Nativity movie there that shows the journey to Bethlehem. But at the end of the day, there's that concern of me is that that becomes something of a fictional thing when you're watching other movies. But the coming of Christ is more than a story, more than a movie, but God is King and God is with us, and it's just something that resonates, and we can find that in these other stories. Sure. and things over and over again.
Sure. Well, let's just close with this. How do we rate this list? I sell it and give it an F. This is not even a passable top 25 list. What do y'all say?
Yeah, it wasn't a great one. I think it did. Maybe if we had searched children's Christmas movies, we would have gotten actually a better list, a more comprehensive list. Right, yeah. And that's not to say like we found, we did find a bad list, but we looked at some, or kind of, I know Anthony skimmed through a couple of them, and it did seem like it had the most movies in it, so we thought it would be good, but it definitely missed on some really good ones.
Yep, bad list. Pastor Mike, you selling it?
I'm going to sell on it, but the majority of those movies I have not watched.
Which means it's a bad list.
Yeah, well, I don't watch a lot of movies, so but I'll just give it. I'll have to sell.
Anthony, you going to sell too?
I would not give it a passing grade.
Yeah.
Man, it seems so negative. Can we do something positive?
But you know what? But Christmas is a positive time.
It is.
I did not say that I sold or that I bought yet. So I will say, in a positive way, that I hold, because it just might be redeemed by Jesus Christ. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Amen.
Go home, get your family around, get out some hot chocolate or coffee, and watch Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey, and you'll all have a good
Christmas candle.
All right, with that, Merry Christmas, everyone.